it is said it couldn't have happened anywhere else, psychoanalysis. And there probably is reason for that belief. It's not medicine, it's not psychiatry, it's not an interview, and yet it's part of all these things. And the Austro-Hungarian Empire was a place of transgression, of crossing cultures. It was, at the time, the most cosmopolitan city in Europe. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was an amazing cultural hodgepodge, and everything focused on Vienna. But on the other hand, there was a very orthodox establishment in the scientific and medical world. So Freud, at a certain moment when he began to think outside the frame, as it were, he found himself being cold-shouldered. He was becoming even more of an outsider than he was naturally. And in a sense, all Jews felt themselves to be outsiders in Habsburg Vienna. There's a rabid anti-Semitism. This anti-Semitism in Freud's Vienna was at first low-key and accepted.
Is there a simple way of explaining why he is such a key modern figure?
I think the only way to say that would be to say that he redefined what it is to be human, what it is to be a person, that there's a radical shift in perspective. He uses the example of Copernicus, that the sun was no longer the centre of the universe. In the same way, from Freud onward, our consciousness is no longer the centre of being human. The ego is no longer master in its own house. That until that time, everybody had assumed that their will, their consciousness, the conscious life is the central fact of being human, of experience. And suddenly consciousness is sidelined, shifted, and the whole area of the unconscious becomes is central, is essential. His writing on art and creation often appears simplistic, but on the other hand, he is limiting himself to certain pathologies in art, and he is careful to say that this does not exhaust the subject. For instance, in his study of Dostoevsky and parricide, where you have rich study for psychopathology, obviously, he does say that none of this explains the genius or the actual creative aspect. The same with Leonardo. And he's very careful to say he's not being reductive, but he is insisting on some pathology which does contribute to art, and which may lead either to art or to neurosis, in fact, if the art fails.
I suppose going back to my question, why Vienna? The extent to which the art of a time and place might also be a kind of, it's the word I want, cathexis, I think is the right word, isn't it? Some sort of release for what otherwise would turn into some kind of sickness.
Yes. Although some would say the sickness was there and this was the expression of it.